What's up? Welcome back to another episode of Manji TV. Today we have this beautiful M8 competition behind me on the lift, and we're doing some catless downpipes. Alright guys, we're in the M8 competition now. We're about to take it for its test drive before we install the catless downpipes. I just wanted to get some sound clips and a couple drivability tests just to make sure the car feels good and there is no other, noises or things I should be concerned about once I do work on the car. It's always kind of one of those things, if you don't drive the car, test it before, and you put it back together and then there's some noise that you're concerned about, well, if you didn't drive the car before, you don't know if it was there or not. So I like to verify that everything is solid with the car before we do make any modifications. So just pulling out right now. Car's pretty tame, not much drone. I do have the exhaust valves open. Plus, on everything, Sport Plus for the engine, chassis, and Sport for the steering and brakes. Not like the other three make a difference for the way the car drives or sounds. So this car is Noel tuned, also has meth injection, and I believe he does have an exhaust system and intake in it. We'll verify that here in a little bit when we get on the lift. But for the most part, the car's really quiet and tame, not much drone in here. We haven't punched it yet. We'll punch it up here and see how it sounds. But very tame so far. We're hoping those downpipes really open this thing up. Let's go ahead and rip it. Not bad, not bad. Not super loud either. It's still very quiet. We did it right next to a cop too. Power comes on strong at 4,000, but overall not that loud. Very tame still. Some cops right there. That's so funny. Overall, for a V8, this thing's quiet. Very little drone, very quiet inside the car. Hopefully, the downpipes don't disturb too much of that because, this is a very nice car and having too much disruption inside the cabin could be kind of annoying, especially on longer drives or if you're trying to talk on the phone, do some business. Could be very difficult to do that. So hopefully we don't lose too much of that kind of harshness or lack of harshness, I should say. All right, guys, we've almost got the downpipes completely out. We're getting the last secondary cat out on the passenger side. We've already got the upper sections of the downpipes out. You do have to remove your underbelly pan, which is held in with a bunch of 8mm screws and 10mm screws. Once those have come out, it gives you better access to the downpipes, which then you'll have two 11mm nuts per side. You have to take off, which hold the lower section of the downpipe or catalytic converter onto these little brackets. So once those have been removed and your V-bend clamps at the top and at the center section, which are both E12 bolts, you can go ahead and kind of jiggle your downpipes from the top out, and then we're proceeded to the bottom. You have to kind of flex them to get them off these studs. Once they're off the studs, it's just a slip joint here. You got a 15mm nut you got to loosen. Get this exhaust out, you got to loosen this clamp here. You'll slide this bad boy out. If we check these bad boys out compared to the factories, here you have your secondary cat and a new replacement secondary lower pipe. And our primary right here, you can see obviously this big catalytic converter in my left hand and no cat here on our right. So these are going to allow the car to breathe a lot better and really maximize our Noel tune that we have on the car and make sure we're getting the most performance out of the engine. So we're going to go ahead and get these bad boys installed. Should sound a lot better. We'll be sure to get you some sound clips once it's in. But yeah, kind of a pain in the ass install. We aren't doing a full DIY, but we're kind of giving you some quick tips on how to get it done. And just some time lapse of that. So let's go ahead and get these bad boys in the car. All right, guys, we've gone ahead and tightened both our 11mm nuts here that hold the downpipe to the bracket, the secondary section. Our clamp from the secondary to the primary is also tightened. And after you get that tight, you want to make sure your exhaust is slid all the way forward. So I like to just pull it and kind of slide the exhaust forward, make sure it's all the way forward. Once that's done, you tighten this 15mm nut. There isn't a torque for that, just pretty much as tight as you can get it. Same thing has been done to the other side. Really, that completes the install of the downpipes. We're going to go ahead and put in our lower undercover. We did test fire the car just now to make sure there was no exhaust leaks, and we're all good. Once we get these underbelly pans on and tight, we're going to take the car for a test drive, give you guys some quick sound clips and an overview of kind of the performance difference and the drone and whatnot from inside the car. All right, guys, so we just completed the install of the downpipes on the M8, and just first start, it's obviously a lot louder, but inside the car here at idle, I really don't hear the engine at all, don't notice any difference. I did just do a quick little drive around the parking lot, and just even driving like this, it's maybe slightly louder inside the cabin, but there's almost hardly any difference just cruising down the road that I can tell. No drone. You get the nice sound of the V8. You can hear the turbo spool a little bit more, which is nice. The burbles, like when you let off, they definitely sound a little louder. The decel on the engine, you can just hear, I feel like the V8 engine much better. Just totally open the thing up. Still letting it warm up here before we do a full throttle pull, but at first glance, it kind of looks like not much has changed. Yeah, I mean, it's actually very, very mild. The startup from outside the car is probably the most aggressive thing. This car being no L-tuned, we can't turn off the cold start reduction. Had this car been MHD or boot mod, we would have done the noise, the cold start reduction, which would have brought the noise down a lot, and really would have made this thing almost unchanged. But let's go ahead and get a full throttle pull right here. Oh yeah, it's definitely faster. The car is definitely faster. It's not a whole lot louder though. I mean, it's definitely louder. I would say maybe 20% louder, but not like drastically louder inside the car when you're full throttle. The power though, the power is massive difference. Obviously we don't have a dyno, we don't have any numbers, but if I had to guess, I mean, we just spun all 4 tires in second gear just rolling on the throttle. I would say it's probably 50 horsepower at least. It seems like at least that. Let's do a full throttle launch here from first. We'll brake boost it up to about 3,000. Full throttle spin, spinning all the way through first. See all that? All right, guys, we have the engine in Sport Plus, chassis Sport Plus, steering Sport, brake Sport, and four-wheel drive Sport mode on the four-wheel drive. So traction control is off. We're in first gear. We're just gonna punch it. I'm not even gonna brake boost it. I just want to see what this thing does, just from a dig, just punching it. So let's go. Woo! She was spinning through first gear pretty hard. Car definitely feels really good. Feels really strong. Downpipes are a massive improvement as far as power. The sound is definitely better. It's not super loud, which is good. You know, this is still a nice luxury car, and not having too much drone inside the cabin is really nice. So yeah, I mean, so far very happy with the results. We're gonna do a little bit more extended driving and make sure there's no rattles or anything, double check for exhaust leaks when we get back to the shop, but so far everything seems perfect. I'm gonna brake boost it. Accidentally short shifted it, but yeah, she's a ripper. For how heavy this car is, it moves, it boogies. It's fun. That all-wheel drive just hooks and goes. It's fun, and just cruising sounds really good. Car just has more low end power, tons more top end, seems more rev happy. If you like this video, be sure to check out the next one, and if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe and like the video. It helps a lot. Thanks, and see you in the next one.